Hey, what is going on, guys? It's that time of the year again. It's Samsung Galaxy season, and in front of me I have the Samsung Galaxy S26 Plus, not the Ultra that pretty much everybody's talking about. I feel like the Plus has gotten the least love. It's almost all Ultra, a little bit of base S26. I decided to go with the S26 Plus. We'll discuss reasons why I did that, and we're going to do it a little bit old school today. One camera, just right on the device, but in the glory of 4K. So I just got this in. This is the unlocked version in Silver Shadow. I got the base 256 gigabyte version, and on the back, you've got some information about the device as always. On the sides here, well, nothing on one side, some Samsung branding on the other. On the front, it says Galaxy S26 Plus and sort of a corner illustration / silhouette there of the device. And on the top side, just some sealing, and on the bottom, a bunch of UPC codes, etc. So let's get started. I am excited for this because for the past several months to a year, I have been on the Google Pixel 10 Pro as my main device. And to be honest, I'm happy to be switching back to Galaxy. And I'll discuss in detail why that is if you want in an upcoming video, so get subscribed if you want to see that one. Pull tabs here, very easy. Pull the top off, and there you have it. I had read online that the Silver Shadow this year might be a slightly different tint than last year's. I'm not super familiar with last year's Silver Shadow. I didn't have a device in that color. I had the titanium S25 Ultra. It looks to be about the same, but it's beautiful. I like it. That cobalt violet color, the hero color, it's nice and all, don't get me wrong. When I saw it in person, though, I felt like the frame especially was just too uniformly purple for my own tastes personally. I did like how the back looked, but Silver Shadow was the one to get for me personally. So here we are, S26 Plus. Of course, this one does not have that famed privacy display feature, and there's pros and cons to not having that, which you may have seen if you follow this industry. This phone is, the first impression I get is of how light it is. Very light device, considering. And I would say the switch to aluminum has something to do with that, but the Plus was aluminum last year as well. It was the Ultra only that was titanium. And anyway, that device was also fairly light. So here's how the Silver Shadow looks. Of course, I am in sunlight, as natural lighting as you can get, in front of a window, and you see how this color looks in different lighting. On the sides, a very uniform silver on this aluminum. I think the aluminum rails will look the same on the white version as well. So matching, and just a really nice device overall. I am already happy with this color. And let's peel this off. All right. There we go. It's the Galaxy S26 Plus. And taking a quick look at the sides here, you've got your volume rocker, your power button, and on the top, microphone, I think a noise canceling mic. Nothing on this side. On the bottom, you see your SIM tray. You can do eSIM or physical SIM with this, USB-C port, and a sort of pill cutout there for your speaker grill. So let's power this thing on. And as I press this, let's see if there's any power. Waiting for that Samsung logo to pop up, that splash screen. There we have it. This is the phone I am coming from. This is the Pixel 10 Pro. There's some good to it. There's some bad to it. I love the design. I love the hardware. But there are some problems I have with it that, again, I will be going over in a video coming up here. Again, I'm happy to be switching back over to Galaxy. So to begin, we have our start screen here. We'll see how much it has changed over the years. Again, I'm going to be starting this phone from scratch, and I'm only going to agree to the mandatory terms here, not the optional ones. again, set up manually. All right, we are on our Wi-Fi network now. I'm going to transfer my SIM. I'm going to do eSIM this time around from my Pixel to this Galaxy S26 Plus. All right, so pretty simple so far. I scanned a QR code from the Pixel to the Galaxy to transfer that SIM, and then I hit transfer. Just wanted to hide phone number there, and it's transferring the SIM here. So hopefully that doesn't take long. Just hope it's successful. This is the first time I've done an eSIM transfer from an Android phone to an Android phone. It's always been just on iPhones, and I've stuck to physical SIMs with Android devices. I just prefer them for the most part. All right, there was one more step I didn't see. It wanted me to unlock my Pixel again to complete the transfer, so I just did that. And it looks like the SIM is transferring. It's connecting to the network, 95% done. Of course, if you do tech at all, it's a lot easier to just have a physical SIM to swap from phone to phone. But I thought I'd mess around and see how easy it is to swap from an eSIM on a Pixel to an eSIM on a Galaxy. All right, so now I'm going to restart to complete that switch, and that is standard procedure. All right, device has been restarted. We'll hit start again, and it already has these two mandatory options selected, and I'm going to set up manually. Again, starting this completely fresh, so I'm not copying my apps or any data or anything like that. Put in my account information now. It's telling me to meet Gemini, my personal AI assistant. As you know, AI features were what was marketed the most by far at the Galaxy Unpacked event. A lot of people call it AI slop. I'm sure some of it's useful. I think the vast majority of it I'm not going to use. Next, go hands-free with Hey Google. No thank you. And finally, we're apparently all set up. Let's see what's new instead of going straight home. And we've got some tips here. Transform photos with prompts and image clips. Find out who's calling and why before answering. Get suggested actions and information. And there you see the rest of those. You can pause this if you want to read them all. Continuing to scroll down the list. You see a mix of just regular features and AI features here. A whole bunch of AI. And there you see several more. All right, enough tips. Let's go home, see how this phone looks. And there you have it. A bunch of apps are going to update. Not necessarily going to download because I'm starting this from scratch. So let's see right out of the box here how much storage, free storage we have on this unlocked Galaxy S26 Plus. So settings, device care, there's storage. It says 12% is used, so that's 32 gigs or 32.1 gigs used out of the box out of the 256 on this device. So you should have roughly about 224 gigabytes to play with here out of the box of free storage. The sun is shining really brightly in here, so we're almost at max brightness on the screen as a result. Let's go to wallpaper, see what we got here. Got some interactive wallpapers, and if I hit change wallpaper, it should show me what we've got here. Change wallpaper, and you see the feature wallpapers that this comes with. You can obviously choose a photo from your gallery. You can create a wallpaper with AI. There are some graphical wallpapers here that look very pixel-like. You can go with some colored wallpapers. And then if I go back up here, you saw interactive. If I hit interactive here, you see that the wallpaper moves a little bit, and there are different variations to that. Go back here and go down to dynamic. You can have dynamic wallpapers. Let's go over to display. Now, you've heard, I'm sure, about some people complaining that the S26 Ultra display is a little bit more, maybe just dim or not as sharp as they would have liked, or as the S25 Ultra, in part because of that display technology used for the privacy screen. If you don't want to worry about that, the S26 Plus is an option for you. Viewing angles are, as good as ever on this device. Let's go to the home screen and check that out. There's no privacy screen here, but the viewing angles are just fine. So in display, let's go down to navigation, and navigation bar, I would rather have swipe gestures, so I'm going to go with that. I don't really use the edge panels, so I'm going to shut that off. Now, one feature that the S26 Plus has that the base S26 does not is the ability to change the screen resolution here to Quad HD Plus. So if I want that same resolution as the S26 Ultra, but I don't want any of the drawbacks of the privacy display. Again, the privacy display is an awesome feature. I think it's very useful. I think it's going to be on future smartphones, but it is kind of first gen tech there. And if you're a pixel peeper and you notice every little detail when it comes to display quality, you might have some niggling concerns with that S26 Ultra. So switching to QHD Plus, let's test out this camera here for a second. Let me take a photo of the box. And let's see if we can do any AI edits to this here. I believe it should be AI, and a little synopsis of what it does. All right, and I've got to sign in to do that. So we'll mess with that a little bit later. It wasn't letting me sign into my Samsung account, so I wanted to have it, have a cat or dog hold the box up instead. But in the meantime, you can see how this photo looks. You can decide for yourself what the quality is like. It looks fine to me. No doubt this will be one of the industry leading smartphone cameras. As always, you can take your pick between, the Pixel, the iPhone series. And again, I am going to make a video just discussing why I prefer this over the Pixel 10 Pro that I had been using, as well as some other Galaxy coverage coming up. We're going to talk about this case. We're also going to talk about the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro. In the meantime, appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions about this here Samsung Galaxy S26 Plus device, let me know in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer them. Appreciate you guys watching. Catch you in the next one.